Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tonight it is New Year's Eve. It's about 15 minutes until the ball drops and it becomes the new year here in the United States Eastern Standard Time. I'm super excited and I thought the perfect way to do my last video for YouTube this year and the perfect way to close out the year would be to give you my favorite movies of 2018. I will be doing another one of these videos specifically for my favorite trailers, movie trailers, and I will be doing one for my most anticipated movies in 2019. I'm super excited. This list was super hard to make, and as of right now, I actually don't have my top 3, and so I'm going to force myself to make that decision right in front of you guys. So this is going to be intense. And hopefully the video will be less than 15 minutes long because I got to go upstairs and celebrate with my family. Yeah, okay, so honorable mention, there were plenty of movies that came out this year that I really wanted to add to this list, but they just unfortunately didn't make the cut. There were some that were on the list and then got bumped off due to some more recent releases. I still haven't seen every movie that came out this year, but I've seen a lot of them, and I'm proud to say that I went to the movies almost every weekend, and it was a great time. It was a great time. So some honorable mentions, I guess, would be BlacKkKlansman, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, and Deadpool 2, The Incredibles 2, yeah, a whole slew of movies. I can't even think of all of them right now. So many movies came out this year. It was insane. Yeah, I couldn't even keep up with them. And sometimes you had to be really picky. But enough with honorable mention. Let's just get down to the list. Okay, number 10, I put Crazy Rich Asians. This movie was fantastic. Not only did it represent the Asian community, the Asian American community as well, it actually was so beautiful at times that it made me cry. It was just one of those amazing rom-coms, and yeah, it was just such a fun movie and I really enjoyed it, honestly. It was one of those movie-going experiences that just made me like thoroughly happy, and therefore I needed to include it on my list. Luckily it didn't get bumped off. Yeah, so Crazy Rich Asians, number 10. Number 9 is Mission Impossible Fallout. This, honestly, I was not very much into Mission Impossible movies, but that trailer was killer. That first full-length trailer they released was so good that I had to see the movie, and it did not disappoint. It was quite long, but Tom Cruise ages very well. His action is amazing, and it was honestly just a very intensely enjoyable movie with incredible cinematography. So if you want a great action movie, I strongly recommend that one. It was just adrenaline pumping, great, so much fun. Number 8, and I will never get over how sad I am. My biggest regret of the year is not seeing this movie in theaters, and this is A Quiet Place. So it's hard to get me to see horror films or thrillers in theaters because I am a wimp. Those of you who've seen me react to some trailers know that. I'm so bad with horror. And I was terrified, so I didn't go see it. I also didn't have time because it was right around finals for me. And I didn't go see it, and I regret that because it was amazing. But I watched it during the summer, and it was incredible. From John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Noah Jupe, all of it, it's just incredible. The artistry, just the way it's put together, it's so good. I enjoyed it so much. I highly recommend it. It's not that scary. If I can watch it, I'm sure plenty of people can watch it, and yeah, so I highly recommend A Quiet Place. That was number 8. Number 7 is Aquaman. Aquaman actually bumped off the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Originally that was my number 10, but Aquaman came in at the last second and took its place. This movie was incredible. Strongly, if you see my review, which was just posted like an hour ago, James Wan's directing was incredible. He really brought the artistry back into comic books, and I loved the money shots that happened throughout the whole thing. It was beautiful. Jason Momoa was hysterical. He was a great Aquaman, and Amber Heard, just officially one of my new girl crushes. Like, yeah, she's great. Yeah, but that movie really caught me by surprise. I really liked it. Highly recommend. DC, I think, is going in a good direction, so I think we should all support them at the box office and see where they go. So yeah. Number 6, I have Black Panther. The reason Black Panther isn't higher on my list is purely because I actually find it like physically hard to watch sometimes, because I hate seeing, I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's some moments when it physically pains me to watch, because I don't want to see like a particular person get hurt, or the sadness, or like, I don't know, it's just like, because the movie makes me so excited about the diversity and the impact that this movie has had. I just saw an ad for the Oscars, and they were playing a Black Panther like theme for the preview, saying tune into the Oscars in February. I was like, oh my god, and I freaked out, and my parents were like, what? I'm like, they just used the Black Panther theme, that's revolutionary. Really, this movie has just changed society completely. Everyone's doing the Wakanda forever. It's amazing what strides this movie has taken. The only reason I actually teared up watching it, because I was so happy for the African American community and what they were experiencing, is what I experienced with Wonder Woman. The only reason, again, that it's not higher on my list is because it like physically hurts me to watch some of those scenes, because it makes me so upset, and not in a way that like makes me want to watch it again. Like, I'm like genuinely upset, and I just, like, it hurts. Like, I don't even like to think about it. So those of you who have seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so yeah. Number 5, I have Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Yes, this is above every movie that I've already listed, and I'm sure many of you are shocked about that, but I mean, I'm a huge Mamma Mia fan, and it was just magical. It was magical. And I'm going to be right back, because I'm pretty sure that it's about to turn midnight and I need to go. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Funny story, to interrupt my video. I actually paused the TV earlier to watch a YouTube video and show it to my mom. It was actually the 2 boats on a goat thing with Jimmy Fallon and Lin-Manuel Miranda. And so we celebrated New Year's twice, because all the clocks in the house turned midnight, and we were like, what? Why isn't Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve doing the countdown? Why are we in a commercial break? And then my dad was like, did anyone pause it? And I was like, oh shoot, I paused it and I never made it go live again. So thanks to me, we celebrated New Year's like twice. So that was awkward. But we fast forwarded and then did the countdown from 25 seconds, which was embarrassing for me. But it was quite the, like Carmichael, it was a good way to start 2019. But yeah. Happy 2019, guys! Let's continue this list of my favorite movies in 2018. Pretty sure I was on Mamma Mia. Yeah, so I've watched this movie a couple times since it's come out. I listen to the soundtrack at least twice a week. I am, for someone who just saw Mamma Mia for the first time a year ago, the first one, I've become obsessed. Many of you already know Lily James is a celebrity crush of mine. It's one of those movies that makes me so happy that it automatically jumps up to number 5 on my list. Like, it just, the glee factor is there. I don't think I frowned once, or like, I was beaming, I was dancing, I was singing every time I watched this movie, and everyone I know is the exact same way. I literally just Donna Sheridan is a lifestyle, and that movie was so much fun, and just, it was such an awesome fun musical. Was it the best movie? No. But was it one of my favorite movie watching experiences of the year? Yes. And I have to have it where it is on my list. It would be a crime to have it be any lower or not on my list at all. So this is why you guys watch all your YouTubers do their own list, because they're all supposed to be different, right? So yeah, Mamma Mia, number 5 for me. Bohemian Rhapsody is number 4. Originally, this was my number 1 movie. Well, okay, at one point in time, this was my number 1 movie. It is shifted. It was my number 1, then it was my number 2, and it was like going back and forth. When I would, like, right after I would watch it, I'd be like, my number 1, and then I'd wait a few days and I'd be like, my number 2. Freddie Mercury is still my lock screen photo. I love this movie for a variety of reasons. One, the trailers that led up to it were just they perfectly encapsulated the movie, so I knew exactly what I wanted to see, and it's exactly what I got, so that's amazing. I love Queen, not loved in the past tense. I love Queen. My dad has been playing it since I was a little kid. It is literally a part of my life, and I don't know what else to say other than it was magical getting to see Queen immortalized in this movie. Not that they're not already immortalized, but like in a way that's different for me, someone who was born in 1999 and didn't ever get to like be alive at the same time as Freddie Mercury, let alone see the band live. And even if I wanted to go see them live now, I cannot afford those $300 tickets. Like, I literally have like $30 in my bank account right now. Hashtag college student. Yeah, it was just, that Live Aid performance was the closest I will ever get to seeing Queen live, and it was beautiful. Like, Queen with Freddie Mercury, it was amazing, it was magical, the shots were perfect, it was just great. I know some people think it was like an amateur kind of movie with the directing standpoint. I strongly disagree. Strongly. I thought it was fantastic. There were so many original things in that movie, and I would argue that it was one of the best movies of the year, and that it should definitely be contending. Like, it should get Oscar nominations. I think Rami Malek would deserve an Oscar nom. And yeah, I think it brought Queen back into the limelight. Yeah, so, I mean, I loved it. I listen to that soundtrack all the time still. It was great. And yeah, so Bohemian Rhapsody is number 4. And now I'm at my top 3, and I still haven't made this decision, and I'm freaking out. Okay. Okay. I guess I'm doing this right now. It's going to be official when I say it, so I'm just going to say it. My number 3, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it's been at my number 1 pretty much the entire year, but my number 3 movie for 2018 is Avengers Infinity War. I am shocked that this is number 3 for me. Those of you who have seen my reviews, who have heard me talk about this movie, know that it was the best movie-going experience of my life, my entire life. I have never been in such an... Okay, so my video stopped for like the 6th time while recording this. Yeah, so I was on Infinity War. This was, again, as I said, the best movie-going experience of the year for me. As we all know, a lot happened in that movie, and it was super exciting to watch. The only thing is that it just... I don't know, the 2 movies above it just have something over it for me, like personally, and I don't know, but it was, I mean, this does not discredit Infinity War at all. Honestly, my top 3 are a dead tie. I just needed to make a list for you guys. So, yeah. Moving on to number 2, which as of last night was my number 1. And I've actually watched a couple of people's lists. This is not on anyone's. Love, Simon is my number 2 movie this year. So, this movie is huge for me because I came out this year as bisexual, and so much of what happens in Love, Simon helps me deal with some of the experiences that I went through, whether it's people's reactions to the conflict within myself, having trouble saying it, like your friends looking at you differently, just everything being different, but feeling like you're still you, but to everyone else you're different. Just so many of the themes that go on in that movie, just, they really, really hit home with me. The first time I saw the movie, I had not come out yet. And I was still trying to like process everything that I was going through. And so I watched this movie again last night, and I have to say, it just, every time I watch it, I cry at the same parts. My stomach drops in like a good way, and I get really happy at the same parts, and all the exact same moments, the same slight looks in people's eyes, all of it, it just resonates so deeply with me. And it just means so much to me to have that movie out there, and something that like really feels like can help me and can help so many others too. And it's not a sad movie. Like Boy Erased was so hard for me to watch. Like it made me sick to my stomach. Call Me by Your Name was good, but I could not relate to that movie at all. I was nothing like Armie Hammer or Timothée Chalamet's characters. So I just couldn't relate to it. But Love, Simon, I could see myself in the characters, and I felt like I belonged in that movie, and I really want to read the book. But yeah, so that had to be in my top 3 for me, because I just, like, it means so much to me to have a movie like that. So Wonder Woman, Love, Simon, Bohemian Rhapsody did the same thing, kind of more on a minor level. But it's just, so many movies nowadays are just making me feel so much more, like I feel like I'm actually watching something that I can connect with, which I've never been able to really do. Like it's always been like I want to connect with it. Like I feel like I'm in the world and I want to be these characters. But in a lot of these movies that are coming out now, I feel like I am these characters. Like I feel like this is me up on screen, and maybe that's what diversity in film and inclusion feels like. It means so much to me, and I'm so grateful for all the people around me who have made my year, with all the changes that have come with it, so much easier. But yeah, just Love, Simon, it helps so much, and I love it. I love Simon. And so my number 1 movie of the year is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's no way this movie could not be in my top 3, let alone my number 1. You guys watch me like make this decision right here. It just goes above and beyond. From my experience getting to see the first 35 minutes at New York Comic Con, to the anticipation leading up to what happens in the rest of the movie. Oh my God, watching all these other people get to see it early and review it, and I'm like, yeah, but I've seen the first 35 minutes and I'm still sitting here waiting to know what happens next. Like, the animation wasn't even fully done on what I had seen, and it was like torture having to wait, knowing what I had seen was so amazing and I couldn't even watch it again, let alone know what happens in the rest of the movie for months. And then I got to see what was in the rest of the movie, and it was amazing. And I have been listening to the soundtrack over and over and over again. I have been rewatching the scene where Miles officially becomes Spider-Man over and over and over again. I made a spoiler review, and for some reason it would not export no matter what I tried, so I gave up and deleted it. But I did make one, guys, and it was such a good review. But yeah, I'm just super like in love with this movie. The same way Aquaman brought the artistry back into comics books, this one did too. It just made it like the art within comic books is what sells these characters, and what makes them so beloved and important and memorable. And the fact that we're bringing that art, that beautiful art form, to the forefront within films nowadays, it is just so exciting. And I just think that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best comic book movie I have ever seen. It's the best Spider-Man movie, and you guys know, I love Tom Holland. I own, like, I love his Spider-Man so much. I love the Tobey Maguire films, and I love the Andrew Garfield films too. I grew up on those ones. They shaped me into a Spider-Man lover. The Tom Holland Spider-Man, I just think is, like, first of all, I love Tom Holland, and second of all, he just captures the Peter Parker I see in my head and I've always pictured through the comics and the movies. Like, he's the perfect, like, this is what Peter Parker should be. But Spider-Verse gave us not one Peter Parker, but two Peter Parkers. And then they gave us Miles Morales. They gave us Gwen Stacy, Penny Parker, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir. It was amazing. It was just so... It encapsulated the world of comic books. It showed us that... It showed the world, average moviegoers too, that, like, the comic books aren't just... Anyone who's tried to get into comic books knows that it is so hard because it's so confusing, because there are so many different, like, storylines. There's so many different series and editions, and you never know where to start, and you kind of just have to dive right in and pick which one you want to. Like, I started with Ultimate, the 2002 Ultimate, I'm pretty sure, and, like, there's the world of comic books is so amazing because it's like fan fiction. Like, you can read any type of story you want to read with different artists and different authors. You can see all these different paths the character can take and outcomes and storylines, and it's beautiful. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse brought that in. And not only that, but they represented a Hispanic, African-American, like, teen and his life and the diversity of his home life, let alone the superhero life that he's thrust into. And it shows us that anyone can be a hero. Anyone. That is the message of the movie, is that it just takes a leap of faith, and you just kind of have to do it. You just go for it and be your own hero. Be someone else's hero. Do these good things. You don't have to be bitten by a radioactive spider. Yeah, it helps, but you don't have to be. I mean, there's just so much good you can do in the world, and that this movie, through its artistry and its music and the voice performances and the directing and all of it, it is just flawless. So it had to be my number one. I get so excited. I get an adrenaline rush every time I watch the Miles Becomes Spider-Man scene with What's Up Danger from the soundtrack playing. And then the horns aren't in the soundtrack version. I wish they were, but these horns come in because they're part of the score. And it's like... And he's swinging and he's running and it's like, it's just so exciting. It's like that moment, that peak that you reach when you finally become your true, real, fulfilled self. And it's just, it's so magical to watch on screen. But yeah, that's my my top 10 movies of 2018. Sorry this video had so many hiccups. I ran out of storage like twice, and then New Year's happened twice, and then my phone died, and yeah, so I'm doing real well. I'm thriving at the start of 2019, but I have such an exciting year coming up ahead. If you guys want to stay tuned for all of that, be sure to follow me on my social media. It is at Emily Grace Carm on both Twitter and Instagram, and they will be in the description box down below. You can also donate to my Ko-fi page if you want my bank account to go from 30 to something higher. And I've gotten many generous donations from you guys just to help me pay for movie tickets, and it means so much. You have no idea. I can't believe you guys are so generous to, like, this random 19-year-old. It is incredible. Thank you so much. You really make my day. Like, I freak out. Yeah, I really want to know your list. So happy 2019. Have a great year, guys. And I'll see you soon. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.